what up, guys? So I'm hitting you this morning with the weekend preview, June 15th weekend preview. We have three separate cards are coming at you on Saturday. Total of 5 fights to talk about today. So let's jump right into it. I'm not sure when these fights are starting. I got to look at the time still, but I know 2 of them will be in the early afternoon, possibly even start in the morning. I'm going to kick it off with the ESPN Plus card that's taking place from the United Kingdom. The undercard's not really anything good, but the main event is good. It's going to feature undefeated IBF featherweight champion, that's 126, Josh Warrington, as he takes on his undefeated mandatory number 1 contender, Kid Galahad. Now, Warrington's the number 2 featherweight in the world. Galahad hasn't really beaten anybody yet, but he is the mandatory challenger, got a decent amateur resume, so should be an interesting fight. Warrington coming out the biggest win of his career, beating Carl Frampton last December, and then winning the world title last year against Lee Selby. Had a great year. He was my featherweight of the year for 2018, and he's trying to continue that ball rolling and get himself, a bigger fight later on in the year. Not sure what that fight's going to be, but, I know Shakur Stevenson, he's called him out. I know he's called out, I know there's Jesse Magdaleno out there. So, this is a good one. He's got to get this win, though, over Galahad to get into something later on. I got Warrington winning a decision here. I really don't know too much about Galahad or haven't seen him fight, but, again, he worked himself into becoming mandatory number 1 contender for whatever that's worth, because sometimes those guys are dog shit and doesn't mean anything, but whatever. So that's Saturday in the afternoon, early afternoon from the United Kingdom. That's going to be on ESPN Plus from what I know. Now, the other card that's going to be in the early afternoon is from Riga, Latvia, and it will be on DAZN. The World Boxing Super Series semifinals for Season 2 is here again. This time it's all one division on this card. Both cruiserweight semifinals are taking place. First in the co-feature, you're going to see former champion Junior Dorticos. He's a number 2 seed coming into this tournament. He's my number 4 cruiserweight overall. He's taking on undefeated Andrew Tabiti. Tabiti did not come in ranked in the top 4. Surprisingly, he should have been. He won his first fight, beating undefeated Ruslan Fafer. Dorticos got a decision over, tough veteran Mateusz Masternak. And now these 2 guys are locking horns in the co-feature here. I thought this was going to be for a vacant world title. It still very well could be for the IBF title if Alexander Usyk gets stripped or vacates that belt, because that's the last belt he's holding on to. But that's not a guarantee, and as of right now, it being Wednesday, I'd expect that's probably not going to happen, but it still could. So we'll see what goes on there. But the winner goes to the final. Big fight for both guys. Dorticos, he was in the semifinal last year, got TKO'd in the 12th round against Murat Gassiev in a great fight. That's the only loss of his career. Tabiti hasn't tasted defeat yet. He's a Mayweather Promotions guy. He's relies solely on his defense, so should be interesting right here. I'm going to make a prediction. I think Dorticos' power is going to be too much. He does have that heavyweight power, and he can box a little bit. I think he's going to catch Tabiti and get a knockout victory in the middle to later rounds. I think he can catch him early and finish him. Tabiti is a little bit scrappy, though, and we're going to see what he can do. I think Tabiti, it's possible he could pull off the upset here, but I'm picking Dorticos to go to the final. Should be interesting, though. Should be a good one. In the main event on DAZN from Riga, Latvia, is the guy who's from Riga, Latvia, the tournament's number 1 seed, the former WBC world champion, Maris Bradis. He's taking on the tournament's number 3 seed and the WBO champion, now 2-time WBO champion, Krzysztof Glowacki. Now, Glowacki entered the tournament, again, as a 3 seed. He defeated, what was the guy's name? Maxim Vlasov, another tough European guy. He got a clean, unanimous decision over him and became the WBO interim champion. His only loss of his career was to Oleksandr Usyk when he lost the title back in, I believe it was 2016, 2017. He lost it to Usyk. It was 16. So this one, again, this is an interesting matchup right here because you got, like I say, Glowacki, a lot of power, comes forward, not afraid to mix it up against Mairis Briedis, who, got decent power, probably the little bit better boxer, but Briedis in the quarterfinal got a gift unanimous decision in a fight he should have lost against Noel McElhian. So this is an interesting semifinal fight right here. I think it's going to be very close, and now the vacant WBC title is on the line. Now Glowacki is the WBO champion, so now it's basically 2 belts. The winner's going to be a unified world champion. I mean, big-time things going on in this fight right here. Big-time implications. The winner goes to the final. It's just huge. So, cannot wait to see it. Briedis' only loss, both of these guys' only loss was to Oleksandr Usyk. If you want to see a saving grace of who might get a little bit of the edge, well, Briedis is the only guy to ever give Usyk a tough, close fight. He lost by a majority decision last year in the semifinals of the World Boxing Super Series Season 1. Glowacki got cleanly outboxed against Usyk. That shows me right there. Briedis, on paper, is probably the better fighter, but he also should have lost his first round fight where Glowacki, his fight with Vlasov was supposed to be closer, and he handled Vlasov. So it just, styles make fights. We're going to see how this works. I got Briedis winning a close decision. I think it could go either way by anything. I think Briedis could knock out Glowacki. I think Glowacki could knock out Briedis. I think Glowacki could win a decision over Briedis. But I'm giving the edge to Briedis by a close decision. He will be the unified champion by the end of the night and will punch his ticket to the final, which I believe will be against Yunier Dorticos. Should be good. That's the zone on Saturday night, or Saturday afternoon. Now, from ESPN Plus is going to bring you a very good card that night from Madison Square Garden. First, in the co-feature, a very good light heavyweight fight to not overlook. You're going to see former world title challenger Sullivan Barrera. He's currently number 10 at light heavyweight for me in the very deep light heavyweight division, taking on former 2-time world title challenger Jesse Hart. Jesse Hart's my number 9 super middleweight right now. He's moving up to light heavyweight because he wants the good fights, the bigger fights. He's, and he wants to test out his skill and everything at 175 where all the top ranked guys are. So, great matchup right here, guys. You are not going to be disappointed in this fight. I don't believe so at all. You got Barrera, who last year, who's last year he got TKO'd in the 12th round against Dimitri Bivol. He's been trying to land a big fight ever since. The guy is a good boxer. He's 35. He can really bring it. He can punch and he can box. Against Jesse Hart, who can do the same thing. He's younger. He's coming off a majority decision loss to Gilberto Ramirez when he fought for the WBO title back in December. It was a great fight between those two. It was very close. It was a rematch, and Jesse Hart gave it his all and came up just short. His 2 losses have only been to Gilberto Ramirez by close decisions. So, and Barrera's 2 losses have been to great fighters. Dimitri Bivol, he got stopped, and then he lost a decision to Andre Ward. So, a lot riding on this fight. Big-time matchup. The winner will be a clear-cut top 10 guy at light heavyweight. Can't wait to see it. My prediction, I'm going out on a limb here. I'm going with Jesse Hart to pull off the upset, moving up to 175. I think he's younger, but I could absolutely see Barrera winning this fight. But make sure you watch this one. It's going to be a good one. Now the main event, undefeated Tyson Fury taking on undefeated but little-known Tom Schwartz, heavyweight showdown. This is Fury just making his first fight under his ESPN contract, his new top-ranked ESPN contract. They've already said that next year he is going to be lacing him up and fighting Deontay Wilder in a rematch early next year. So I think he's going to get this fight out of the way. I think he's going to fight again later on in the year. Probably step up the competition a little bit more in that one. And then that's going to punch his ticket to Wilder. But as we saw with Andy Ruiz, and we've seen time and time again, don't overlook this guy. I still think Fury needs to look good against this guy. I think he should score a knockout over him to impress people and keep people wanting to see more in the United States. So I think the pressure's on Fury for that, especially for a guy that usually likes to box and walk away with decisions. I think he needs to come with it. I think he needs to score a big win by a decision in this one, and to keep everybody interested. So that's it. ESPN Plus on Saturday, Madison Square Garden. That's going to be a good one. You got DAZN earlier in the day. You got another ESPN Plus card from the United Kingdom earlier in the day. 5 big fights. Check them out. I think, between those, I think we got 3 or 4 world titles on the line. You got to check it out, guys. Saturday, June 15th, True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.